about trading Forex is that you don't actually know exactly which trade is going to be a crazy winner or just another loss.
What's up, everybody? We are currently live.
We'll take away the weekly.
Trade back down to the order confidence. That price is going to be bullish.
Point sort of chasing the market. I was more than happy to stay flat.
Hello everyone.
What the kangaroo tell?
Always recommend trading on the 5 minute.
Some of these exotic pairs and pretty steady uptrend, making these higher highs and higher.
Mostly trend following.
The stimulus in a certain way.
Evening or morning, afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all well. Thanks for coming. If you're in the room, come and say hi. Who have we got here? Dawn, how you doing, pal? Making some good profits. Yeah, I'll go into that. I'll go into my Swiss yen trade just now. Actually, it's gone, to be honest, a lot better than I expected. Denise, morning. How are you? Arslan, Kadyan. Yeah, I'll get into all the requests in a bit. Rocky, JK, Brandy, Mohammed, Pro, Azgu, Trend the Market, Matcha. Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it, Jodel. Well, it's getting to the point where there's lots of people in the room. Okay, so who here was involved in this trade? Was anyone from A1 or my side involved in this Swiss yen? I'll talk through the actual setup and why I really like it and why it's potentially produced the results it has. So I personally didn't expect this type of result, but there is a reason why, and I think it's a good learning on how I personally trade the market. So we have our setup here, our larger V reversal, our second V reversal, which included a nice reload, pullback around that 40-60 box from this impulse. So we got another tag of this area, which for me, I like to see. I like to see a few tags of that area. The more tags, preferably the better. So for me, I consider these sellers coming in or these orders being filled and becoming less and less powerful as the pattern progresses. So we came through here, got another V reversal, and then we got my favorite ABC pattern. Notice where C wave came, roughly around that 20 period. Volume coming in around C wave, it's what we want to see. So we got ABC, another tag of the area. Pushed on, and we had about 4, 8, 12, 16 hours of accumulation here. Again, letting this 20 catch up. Can everybody see that well? Letting this 20 catch up, kind of like pushing just pressure into that area, kind of like an elastic band or a pencil. The more pressure you put onto it, then eventually, bang, it snaps. And that's the exact reaction we got. So I normally take profits about 1-to-1. So my breakout was here, stop loss underneath here. But I was in the market on Friday afternoon, and I liked this price action. So I took my TP1 out, and I moved it on. Now this morning, I took my profits on my 50% here, about 2-to-1. And because of the extension and the move into the movement we've had today, I put my stop at break even. So normally I wait for the swings, and that's what I'm doing here. But we've got to think about how price action is going to look if it comes down and hits my stop, which is obviously not going to be great. So if it does come down to here, there's no point in me having my stop here because price action will look pretty bearish if we basically reject this area. So I've moved my stop to break even. And all I'm doing now is being patient and waiting for the swing. Now, again, the reason why I really like this is if we look at the weekly, okay, if I zoom in here, we're come from this impulse to the upside. And my favorite, Dawn, you'll know this, ABC corrective. Okay, ABC, nice bullish engulfer at C wave. And look at, yeah, we're breaking out of this structure. So every time I take a trade, I want that trade to be a big runner. That's where my edge comes from, those big runners that don't always happen. You know, we go for the home run, but we take a single. And the context of this was great. So it's a good kind of learning trade, I would say, for newer members on how I trade and the effects it can have, because we haven't had a lot of that over summer. So now waiting for a swing, move my stop, and the idea being, if this continues to run, capture more and more profit, right? So my edge comes from those maybe 4 or 5 trades a year that get me 10+%, you know, and if you have that 40% there on 4 trades and you break even the rest of the time, you are massively outperforming your traditional assets, which is what we want to do. We're outperforming the SPX, aren't we? 10 to 11% on average. Rental properties, all that kind of stuff, massively outperforming it on 4 trades. But it's having the patience now to let it run. Hey guys, Darren, would love to hear your opinion on Aussie Swiss. Okay, I'll do that. Lebo, what's up, my brother? Cheers, buddy. Hope you're well. I am well, thank you. My team, Scotland, won on Saturday, so I got my Scotland hat on. So we're closer to the World Cup if any of you are football fans or soccer fans in the room, so I'm very happy. And also, I'm winning trades. So it's been a great weekend for me and a lovely Monday. Okay, so Pound Aussie is another one that I'm in. I think Patrick on A1 Trading took this as well, but I liked it. It was fit my strategy. We had our head and shoulders here, 4-hour chart or a V reversal, nice corrective here. If I zoom in so you can see this. So notice our corrective from this area, a few wicks to the upside, roughly around that 20. So I like this, you know, talk about a V reversal, talk about very simple chart patterns, head and shoulders. We were on a downtrend, going with that trend, a good bearish breakout, nice Marabuzo candle on a little bit of volume. The only issue I had with this was we had a slight level here to move back, but because of this context here and because of where we are on the daily, I really liked it. So this is going quite well. Notice now we've broken out underneath this wick, which is a good sign. So again, this is a trade that I really like because it's a trade that could potentially really run if it does get some momentum to the downside. And also the fact that we're having a slight push on in the SPX right now is good for the Aussie, good for those commodity currencies. So if we end up, whatever happens, we're still in this corrective channel until, for me, we break this anchor here. If we do come out of this bigger corrective from this bigger uptrend, this would look good for the Aussie. You know, I know fundamentally you can say, well, it's in lockdown. For me, I don't care. You know, I trade what I see on the charts because technical analysis, I'm not smart enough to analyze all the data from all these economies. What I am good at is looking at what I see on the charts and just going with that. So SPX here doesn't look too bad. Double rejection, possible double bottom on the smaller time frames. If we get a close above this, what I consider B wave, it will look pretty good to the upside. We do have resistance, yes, but we're going against that intraday trend. So you're expecting barriers because it's counter trends. You're expecting barriers for that SPX to move up. But again, it could be a decent position for that to move. In which case, we've seen that weakening off in the yen. We've seen the weakening off in relatively the Swiss. We're seeing some strength coming into those commodity currencies. So continuing that, certainly on that confirmation of a break above, or certainly a break above these highs here, would be decent. So I know NFP came in poor. Unemployment was quite good. Aussie's coming out a lot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going into summer. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I like that trade, basically. Basically, what I'm saying is pound Aussie to the downside, I like. Now, the final one that I'm looking at, this is only one I'll go into for me, and then I'll go into your requests, is USAR. Every other one I've got on my watch list is probably a little bit away, but USAR I do like. So we've got a nice basing structure here, a big V reversal, followed by a second V reversal, Swiss yen, very similar. And now we're getting a slight reaction, which is good. I don't mind this. If we can do something like this, breakout, retest to move to the upside, then USAR for me looks quite good. We are on this hourly 200, which again, you expect to see a reaction of, an area of dynamic resistance and support to price. But USAR I like. Look at the 4-hour. We always try, and this is why I think higher time frame confluence is so important, is what can anybody see potentially here that supports a bullish move to the upside? So anybody see it is there? It might be harder for people to spot, but anybody see there a pattern that says this could potentially be decent to the upside? It's not confirmed, but anybody see a pattern? $100 the winner from Nick. No, I'm joking. Anybody? Nobody? There you go. Head and Shoulders. H&S is there. It's probably a bit harder to spot, but it's there. Head and Shoulders pattern, which technically would mean if we break above, we're not confirmed yet. Yeah, well done. Yeah, well done, Alan. If we break above, this is a good sign. So I don't mind what's happening now. I actually prefer it. You know, another little reload there makes it a bit healthier for me. So breakout retest, move to the upside on USAR, looks pretty good. Daily confluence as well. Daily confluence, pushed up, impulse, little correct, push up. Corrective back to this 20 period. Okay, that's why I use this 20 period as a visual guide to try and get me into trends at the right time. So like we saw with Swiss yen at the start of the move. And this higher time frame confluence, along with our setup, if we indeed get it, looks pretty good, right? So simple stuff. You know, I'm a massive proponent of just keeping things simple. I know it's easy for me to say right now because you had a few massive trades, but you know, that's not always going to be the case. But keeping things simple is, for me, certainly the way to go. Okay, so we're going to the SPX. I'll do the dollar. So what I normally do on a Monday now is I have a little competition on my personal YouTube. If you're not subscribed, down there. But I'll add you guys in to this competition where every Monday I select a pair, maybe an index, SPX, or the dollar, Bitcoin, or whatever, where you guess the price of that index, commodity, whatever it is, and the person that is closest to it on Friday basically wins $50, right? So if you want to enter in that, it's only on today, so you got to get your answers in chat. I'll add you to the little competition. But it's your, basically, where do you think the DXY, what price do you think it'll be on Friday? Okay, if you want to enter into that, put your guesses in the chat, and I'll add you to the competition. Closest wins $50. Okay, so let's do the dollar. Now the dollar for me, I'm still bullish on the dollar. Okay, what it could be turning into potentially is this larger complex. We've seen the 20 again, 20 simple down, 20 down here. What we could be turning into, because it looks to be a potential, possible loss of momentum on this daily, is a harder kind of ABC reset for continuation to the upside. Okay, that's possibility number one. Excuse me. Possibility number two is we've got a decent setup on this 4-hour chart. Again, you can see it time and time again. ABC corrective, pushing on now. We're getting a reaction around B wave, so we could continue within this slight channel. But if we get a break above here on this 4-hour chart or on these smaller time frames, this would be good for me for dollar longs. So I am a dollar bull. We obviously, anything can happen. We don't know what's going to be happen in the future, and this can completely fall. Yes, obviously that can happen. But the chart looks good. I just think it maybe needs a little bit more on this daily before continuation to the upside. So that's my personal bias on the dollar. So I think I went with 93.77, I think was my guess on Friday. Denise, Dawn, okay, I'll add you to. Anyway, it's just a little bit of fun. Okay, let me go through your guys' pair, because the only one I'm really watching is USAR. I'm in that pound Aussie, in that Swiss yen, and having a lovely Monday. Darren, we'd love to hear your opinion on Aussie Swiss. So I'm just going to go through from the top. Aussie Swiss was good. So who asked me? Sorry, Darren. If you notice this, this is actually nice from here. Aussie Swiss pullback, breakout, cut with handle within cut with handle. Nice corrective channel. And if I zoom in so you can see it better. Let me know if I'm not zoomed in enough. Now this outside bullish engulfer on this previous resistance becoming new support on this, where is it? On this 20 period. So that was actually not a bad entry there. I couldn't enter it. Firstly, it was over Asia, so I was asleep in my bed. And secondly, it didn't have enough volume. However, it was still a nice setup. So Aussie Swiss looks good, Darren. You know, we could be probably getting a reaction above these highs or at these highs. You probably expect possibly some sort of reaction. But in terms of bias, yeah, it looks good to the upside. Impulse, corrective. In my kind of, again, a little bit of my favorite breaks from channels like this is like this. So if you have a breakout, you have a channel. If you get price action going like this, before movement to the upside, excuse me, sorry guys, I got something in my throat. Excuse me. Oh, something stuck in my throat. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'll go through that again. So channels, if we have a breakout from an uptrending environment that breaks out from a channel kind of like this, we range for a little bit, then push on. I like that better. Similar if you get a breakout retest, you know, I like this better than it completely moving on in that expected direction. So this is good. So Darren, I like Aussie Swiss. Maybe you get a reaction right here. If the SPX decides to push on, maybe you don't. But my bias would certainly be to the upside. Gold for Jimmy. Look at gold. All right, guys, if you like the video, like the video. Helps the channel out. Well, someone's disliked it. All right, fair enough. Okay, gold. Gold was looking okay on this break. I actually thought I was a little bit bullish on gold, to be honest. Now that's completely failed, and we got our bearish 180, our train tracks, which essentially is two candles, basically around the same range, just immediate rejection. So it's possibly a slight fake out here, but the daily certainly looks bearish. The daily does look bearish. You know, that 4 hours made the this hammer bar here. We are on a downtrend. You know, is this our latest swing for continuation to the downside? It could be. If the dollar decides to have that bigger pullback, then maybe this does what it's doing right now before continuing to the downside. But I'll be honest with you. Who asked me about gold, Jimmy? It's not a nice thing to trade right now. I mean, I'm not really interested in that. Maybe if it breaks underneath this area here, with this price action, your bias got to be changed a little bit more to the downside. But it's not a very nice chart. It's not a very nice chart. Gold, pound, yen. So yeah, to be honest, with gold, I'll set myself firmly on the fence. Not interested in trading it, to be honest. Pound yen, this is a decent setup here. This looks good. Would I be buying it now? No. You know, if you've missed the move, your entry was probably around there. If you've missed the entry, or maybe your entry was here, but certainly here or a break above this area. If you've missed your entry, you've got to wait for a pullback, because it does look good. We're broken out of this daily ranging environment, this daily anchor. Again, out of this movement, may possibly a quadruple bottom. But yeah, pound yen is good. I would say wait for a potential retest like this. But certainly I wouldn't be buying it right up here. I'd be waiting for a pullback. But bias is to the upside. So I'm just going through GU. It's a bank holiday for the US today. Oh, was it? I didn't know that. Okay, GU. It's not very nice on the daily. The 4 hour, I mean, it's respecting roughly around that trend line, right? On GU. Could it decent 4 hour hammer here, but it has broken above this area. It looks to me, if this does break underneath this trend line, this could go to the downside. Pound's been relatively weak over the last few days. But who asked me about GU? Jerry. I'll be honest with you, Jerry. It's just, again, it's not a very nice chart. If you put your area here, maybe, yeah, if you get a break above this area, but then you've still got this to contend with. You've still got these areas to contend with. I would say, yeah, okay, if you get a break underneath this trend line, then, yeah, bias could be to the downside. It's just not in a tradable position to me. It's at that 20 on the daily. It's not a very nice chart, to be honest. There's better things to be trading. Rocky, Euro Pound. Okay, Euro Pound. I'll do Euro Pound, and I've done GJ. I've done gold, and so I'll do Euro Pound, and then I'll do the US oil, and then I'll be done for the evening. So Euro Pound, I need to go and got something stuck in my throat. Euro Pound, path of least resistance is to the downside. Are we losing momentum here? I mean, I certainly wouldn't be selling it right now. At our impulse, again, you put a line on it, looks to be slightly losing momentum to the downside. Sometimes you can kind of catch that if you're getting increasing volume on what I call exhaustive moves. So exhaustive moves is kind of like this, where price has gone quite at some distance. Right, we're not getting that increase in volume. We kind of are, but not really. So I would be either waiting for a pullback for continuation to the downside, or you could look at a possible counter trend entry. But where would your counter trend entry be? Maybe on a break above this area. I wouldn't be doing with anything with pound, Euro Pound right now. If I had to trade it, I'd be looking more longs as a counter trend than shorts. But you know, waiting for a potential pullback for continuation to the downside on Euro Pound makes more sense for me. Just because it's gone. You know, if you're not in it, if you're in it up here, then great. You could be moving your stop down and capturing more profits, but it's not something I would sell just yet, to be honest with you. On Euro Pound, who asked me about Euro Pound? Rocky. That's my personal opinion. So you could be getting, you know, your naked Forex setup, potentially a hammer bar at the bottom, but it looks to be like it would need a pullback, put it that way, on Euro Pound. Okay, finally, US. Let's look at oil. Oil is looking bullish. Oil's looking bullish. I was looking at it down here, didn't quite get an entry on this breakout move to the upside. Looks to be a healthy trending market. Impulse, corrective, impulse, corrective, impulse. Possibly now we're in that corrective phase where we retest this area before moving to the upside. So US oil, I'm certainly bullish on oil, but you know, we're getting a slight hanging man. It's not really a hanging man, more of a doji candle here. This turns into an evening star. Maybe you get your retest, but overall bias has to be to the upside. Maybe that retest is not a bad entry. Now, if you get a retest this area, roughly around that 20 for continuation of that trend, makes sense. So yeah, you've got to go. The trend is your friend until the bend at the end. Daily candle, again, this daily candle is quite nice. Not extended. Yeah, oil looks not too bad to the upside. I would just recommend potentially waiting for a pullback on smaller time frames or on that 4-hour chart, to be honest. Alan 95.3. Oh, US 30, sorry, level US 30. And then I'm done. US 30. Alan, okay, yeah, sorry, I'll add you in. I'll get all your entries in. I'll look at the chat afterwards and put all your entries in. If you don't follow me on YouTube, down there, and I'll announce the winner on Friday. Okay, US 30 looks nice. Look at that 4-hour. Looks pretty good. No? Rejection here. Decent 4-hour candle. Wondering if you have a fixed schedule. Yeah, so I personally, because I'm in Dubai, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. GST. Now, I don't know what time that is for you, but it's basically just when London is opening up. That's when I stream on my YouTube. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So US 30. US 30 doesn't look too bad. Like I said, that recent price action is good. We've got this anchor to the uptrend coming up. So again, you would expect some sort of reaction here. But that's quite nice. Daily again approaching this anchor to the downtrend. If I zoom out a little bit, if we can break above this, that would be good for the US 30. I certainly think so. But the 4 hour doesn't look too bad. I mean, that's pretty clean, right? On the smaller time frames, that's quite clean. It's just you've got a little bit of, you don't have a lot of room to move to the upside before you may get that reaction in. So maybe if it, for me, I mean, as context here, you've got a decent few things helping you. But for my personal strategy to potentially trade it, I would need something a bit more like this. But that might not get it. The 4 hour looks okay. Pound Kiwi. Okay, pound Kiwi. Pound Kiwi. And that is my last one. Nobody shout anything more. Pound Kiwi. I was looking at potential longs on pound Kiwi today. This is why I don't take the breakouts in the smaller time frames. Fake out to the upside, and we are coming back down. So we are at this support area here. I'm kind of breaking through now. If we look at the daily has been kind of, for the past few days, it's been like, well, kind of looks a little bit bullish. If we change here today, and if the SPX does rise, this could look decent for movement to the upside. If we close underneath this 4 hour, if we close, remember it's not closed, but that might not be a decent shout for movement to the downside on pound New Zealand. Again, I would rather wait for a retest, let that 20 catch up a little bit and get in on that move rather than selling it right now. As a breakout trader, I don't like taking breaks like this. I don't like taking breaks on the small time frames anyway, but I certainly don't like taking breaks like this. So just be wary of breakouts that look a little bit extended to going into the level. So maybe a retest option, 20 period catch up for that pound New Zealand would be your best bet, to be honest with you, in my opinion. But the 4 hour looks good. Could move to the downside, absolutely. Could this be the start of a continuation from this larger structure? Yeah, it definitely could be. So you've still got that 20 and 200 to contend with, but if you do start moving down, yeah. Yeah, Logan, I've just done it. This is the pound Kiwi. All right, guys, I appreciate you coming. That'll be me for this evening. Remember, if you haven't liked the video, like the video. We're on 23 with 40 watching. So let's try to get it up to 20, 30. Try to get to 30. See if we can do it before I go. I haven't liked it, actually. I can like the video. Anyway, I appreciate you coming, guys. I'll see you all again next week. And remember to trade safe. Cheers. Peace.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to today's stream. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to follow today's guest, by the way, on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to A1 Trading here on YouTube for more market coverage, trade ideas, and special guests. Our streams are made possible thanks to our sponsors, all of which can be found down below in the description. If you're looking for a new broker, consider checking out the links down below. We've partnered with a few brokers that we think you should check out. By signing up with one of these brokers, our company will receive a small affiliate commission, which does help us stay here on the air creating free stuff for you guys. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you back in the next one.